Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. You know, between yesterday and today, so I've talked to a lot of people last night in my live stream. I've seen a lot of comments today when I was watching The Young and the Restless this morning, and I just find some of this stuff to be pretty laughable, the way that they're coming at Diane. Listen, I don't know what this chick did before I started watching the show. I'm only like 3 years into the show. Okay. So I get that she has a history. I get that she has a past, right? But a lot of times when some people watch this show, they tend to watch it with their emotions, right? So we'll just sit there and say Nina from General Hospital. Now, Nina is not my favorite character, right? I don't like the chick most of the time. But I can always sit there and admit when she is in the right? There's a lot of people that don't like Diane. And I feel like it colors their perception when it comes to a certain situation. Okay? Kyle was acting like an entitled jackass, right? Diane listed numerous amount of things that Kyle has done to undermine her more than once. Okay? She had more than before anyone said this thing, well, she didn't have to fire him. Well, how many talks is too many talks? All that just proved was that he could just sit there and step on her anytime he wanted to, right? So she wound up firing him. Now people are saying everything from Diana showing her true colors. You mean as a boss? Listen, I get people don't like her, and that's fine. But in this situation, Diane is 100% right. And what Kyle did didn't just make her look bad in the business world, it also made Jack look bad. It made the goddamn company look bad as a whole. Yeah, people have so much issues with Diane. It's just I don't get it. I don't understand it. You don't have to like the woman, but you do have to admit when she's actually right in a situation, regardless of how you feel. Um, at one point Jack was like, "Well, we don't have to come to that. You don't have to sit there. We can talk this out." No, Jack. Because one of the things he got sat there and said was, "I should have stepped into this. I should have stepped um into this sooner before I got out of hand." Now I understand. People are just like, "Well, why didn't you?" Because he was helping with his sister. He was helping with Nikki. And he's only one person, so I don't fully blame Jack for this. A lot of people are just like, "Oh, he should have." He's one person. Okay, he's not. He's not Superman. And after a while, even Jack was like, maybe it's a good idea that we didn't promote him because his attitude, his maturity definitely needs some growing up. Okay. Kyle, first of all, Audrey, Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to sit there and brag about the same goddamn thing? We get it. You outsmarted the great Tucker. You want a cookie? Like, it's the same thing that she was doing with Nate. And after all, I was like, I don't care anymore. I didn't care the first time. I don't care the second time. Oh yeah. Oh, so it was Nate she bragged to. It was Sally she bragged to, and now it's Kyle that she's bragging to. We don't care anymore. Like we don't care anymore. And Kyle is such a POS. Okay, because he's not there talking about. Well, first of all, he's playing victim in this whole thing. Oh, they didn't appreciate me, and I tried to help my mom out. Like, bro, all you did was act like an entitled prick. That was about it. Bottom line. Um, he's so much as kind of a terrible and annoying person, and so is Summer, that they really do belong together. But not in the way where it's like, oh my goodness, it's just so romantic. It's like, no, you two are just kind of terrible people, and you don't deserve, the rest of the world doesn't deserve that type of misery to be spreaded onto. Um, but yeah, he's like, I don't care. I'll take my dad's company on. I work with Victor to sit there and take on my dad's company. I don't care. I mean, they're just talking all sorts of ish about that because they continue this conversation for some odd reason. Um, inside, I don't even know what like above the jazz lounge or whatever. And then Summer sees them. Summer is having a business meeting with Sally and Chloe, and she sees this, and for some odd reason, she decides to sit there and not mind the business that pays her. So, quote from DC, DC Soap Sanctuary, by the way. But I'm like, aren't you with Chance? So, what business is of yours? And when she approaches Archer's like, it's none of your damn business. We share a son together. I'm so goddamn sick and tired of people using their kids as an excuse to get in business that has nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with them. That is so annoying. That is so that is so annoying. I'm like, let me just whoosh on this. But she's all like, oh, what are you doing with him? What are you doing with him? And finally, she just walks away. I was like, you should have just walked away a long time ago. Why even sit there and give this chick the satisfaction of even just wasting oxygen and on her? Of all people, Summer Newman? No. So she just walks off. Now, Sally and Chloe, Chloe, I don't know. She, at one point, Summer texts them, and Chloe's like, oh, I'm bet you she's gonna sit there and trying to make me jump through hoops and squirm and everything like that. I was like, well, if you're gonna come in with that attitude, then why even bother? And in all reality, what you should be doing is you should be grateful. You walked away from that. You walked away from her because you felt like you were too good to take orders. Like in all reality, that's what it came across. It came across like you felt like you was too good to sit there and take orders. So her even entertaining that idea, you should be lucky. You should literally be on your knees thanking whatever God that you pray to. Now, there's one point in the meeting where Summer is just eyeballing Kyle and Audra like she don't have any business of her own. And then she turns around and she looks at the design. She's like, oh, well, I don't like this or whatever. And at first, Chloe went to like, well, what do you mean? And she had to really sit there and readjust her tone and the way that she phrased it. Because I was like, really? Really? You're ready about to sit there and show your ass. That's okay. But she readjusted it, and Summer hired her because I don't really know why, and I don't really care that much. Um, so yeah, that happens. Now, this conversation between Lucy and Faith wasn't too interesting, but there's a couple of tidbits. So Faith just talks about her accident, why she doesn't drink, and Lucy, she's just kind of like, oh, what do you mean you don't drink or whatever? Isn't that supposed to be the college experience and stuff? And once she told her why she doesn't drink, she was like, but do you ever feel like you're missing out on any fun? Lucy, she just literally went through a whole monologue to tell you why she didn't drink and how Adam, because of the bad action she was in, had to give her a part of his kidney, and you're still asking that question. Hey, wow. And then there's a point where she talks about her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, her ex-boyfriend. And she's all like, oh, well, he's a jerk. So he's a jerk because he broke up with you. Simply because he broke up with you. because he felt that y'all got together too soon and he wanted to sit there and experience the college life and he wanted to sit there and leave you. Now, if he would have cheated on you, then you would have been calling him all sorts of names, but heaven forbid that we decide, you know what, this ain't working out anymore. Yeah, we're jerks now. Okay, sure. Part of me is just like, why do we even really care? They went off to college, all their stuff happened off screen, including their breakup, and now I'm supposed to be like, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. And I'm not trying to sit there and be just like super cynical or super negative or anything like that, but just like, bro, he just broke up with you. He didn't cheat on you. He wasn't an abuser. He didn't curse you out or anything like that. He just simply didn't want to be with you. You'll get over it eventually. It's not that deep. Um, so in the previews, it looks like those two, Adam and Chelsea, are getting together, and people were just like, I saw one comment, one person was like, if they get together, I'm never watching this show ever again. I'm like, yeah, okay. Um, the hell else wound up happening in this episode? Oh yeah, there's something going on with Sharon. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on with Sharon. So Mariah walks in and sees Sharon just staring into space, and it's just like, hey, hey, hey. And so eventually she turns around. There's a couple of times where they're talking, and Sharon just completely spaces out, and she brings up Cassie. And then they go to the park, and they see Tessa, and, Tessa is, well, Sharon walks around with the baby or whatever, and Mariah's like, yeah, I don't, something going on with Mom Dukes right now. I don't know what's going on, but something is going on. And she comes back, and she once again brings up Cassie. And Tessa's sitting there thinking, you know what? Listen, she's running Crimson Light. She's running this other business that no one cares about, that we don't get to see. Um, so maybe she's just tired. But then she comes back and she calls the doctor and she's like, yo, I don't know what's going on with these new meds, but it is just spacing me out. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta talk about these new meds. Um, um, but yeah, she's like, we gotta talk about these new meds because something going on. Something is a problem. Now, oh, and then Kyle comes back. Kyle comes back to Clara's office, but of course you gotta sit there and take pot shots at them and act like an entitled dick and practically just hints that he already found something else. Or, he hints that he found something else. And then when he leaves, Diane was like, was this part of the plan? You know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on with him? And the thing that really annoys me again about the situation with the whole Diane thing is like Diane asked him, "Did you want to sit there and run this job? Because I'll sit there and talk to Jack." And Kyle supported it. He was all in agreement with it. And then he started resenting her. But yet people were just saying that Diane is showing her true colors. It's like, what soap opera are we watching? What time era are we watching? Because okay, yeah, she did all that stuff back then before I was watching the show. But what did she do in this moment that made her the bad guy? What did she do in this moment that made her the bad guy? Because somebody sat there and said, it's his birthright. But the thing is, it's not just his birthright, though, right? It's like Kyrie said, it's his birthright, it's Billy's birthright. And you know what? Here's the thing I don't give a damn if it's your birthright, okay? You have to earn that spot like everybody else. It shouldn't just be handed to you just because your last goddamn name is Abbott. That is absolutely ridiculous. I think a lot of times people just don't like Diane just because. So they're blurt out like, "Here's his birthright." does that mean? Uh, my goodness. Anyway, I feel like that's much about it. I can't think of anything else. If I missed anything, write in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video.